Hey, Wyoming, silent majority. Welcome back to Leveled Writing. I'm just lost. Today we're working on the premise or original concept in regards to what we have already created. You know, Chaos Obsidian, the city of Virokana, uh, Luxem, Luxem Crest. I knew it was Luxem something. I just literally saw it like not 2 minutes ago and I had to like look it up. Luxem Crest. We had our setting, we had our cities, townships. But what was the original premise behind this? So I'll give you two things that inspired me. So the original inspiration came from two things. The first one, this is quite hilarious. If you've played the game Fairy Fencer F or Fairy Fencer F Advent Dark Force, there is a small piece, and you get it really early on. It's where you go to the divine revival or godly revival, where you see like a demon on the left and an angel, heavenly being on the right, and they all have like these swords in them. There's a piece there, and it's just like heavenly pseudo hymn that like puts you in this weird limbo space. And I thought, ooh, this is kind of sick. I like the idea of these two giant deities clashing with each other, almost Xenoblade 1 style. Xenoblade Chronicles 1 style, where Bionis and Mechonis kept clashing and clashing and clashing. So good. So here we have instead in these being these titans, it's these deities. So it's like two massive deities in combat, sword to stone. That was that thing, and it stemmed from it stems from FFF slash FFF AGF. Godly revival area song. And then this is funny. So I was watching this recently, because I had to look it up again. I couldn't really find it. Have you played Hyper Dimension Neptunia at all? You have? Have you played Mega Dimension? Have you played V2? V2R. That's right. The name Chaos Obsidian comes from that cringy, unfiltered script that Noir reads to you, the viewer. That Noir reads to you, the viewer. The player, actually. Um, and it, like, that was the inspiration for it. Like, I needed something to happen. So this whole thing with the evil lord, grasping and having now captured the princess and trying to fork her over to the dark side or whatever he wants to do with her. We have instead this, but we can still incorporate that element, the element of these two deities locked in combat. Maybe my princess needs to be the one to save the world and thus revive the goddess and save the land and ultimately seal away Chaos Obsidian. The plot thickens, doesn't it? So let's write down the second inspiration of the unfiltered Premsie transcript that War reads to the player in a Mega Dimension uh VIIR. Um like this was the crux of it, and I said in that moment I said Can you imagine? That's kind of where this original concept came from. These two things, and then a third thing from my own brain manifested into itself. It's kind of amazing where my brain goes sometimes. So, if we want another premise idea that's not adjacent to this, I'll borrow my campaign, my D&D campaign, where I'm the dungeon master. The crux of this campaign, the thing is as follows. Same old or forgotten realms. New new things. Or so for me, the Forgotten Realms is the most flexible thing ever. It is now my plaything, and I don't give a crap about the rules anymore. I literally just said, "F it, my players will be my players. The world will be mine to mold for them." It's the most flexible thing ever. Letting my players run my story. That's kind of what it is. But my theme is something new, something old with something new. And what I start with is something new. When the what was it called? When no, it wasn't that. It was Dragons of Stormwreck Isle. That that was new. When it was new, I wanted to challenge my players, but I didn't want to give them too much of a challenge. I knew at some point I wanted to run Tyranny of Dragons. However, they had a bad run-in with this one. First session, one of the dudes dies, and then, okay, well that was a little cheap, let's try again. The guy is given like a free res, and then dies immediately again. I was like, that's unfair. Let's do Tyranny of Dragons, but we're gonna go into that slowly. I need to get them comfortable in their characters first. I don't want to just kill them. Tyranny of Dragons is meant for an artificer. Um, but Dragon of Iceberg Peak was new, and I needed something comfortable to get me DMing. So I needed something comfortable to get me DMing. It needed to be raw. I did it by the books. I just changed out a couple things because otherwise it would have taken forever to go through. But otherwise, as written, with me sprinkling in um, the personality of the kobolds that ran the place. I just kept the core of the interactions as written, but like with my own little flavor to it. I added some of my own things to it. They have an owlbear companion. There was a thing with an owlbear in the corner somewhere, and I was like, "Ooh, you hear a small little howling hoot in the distant forest off the coast. Let's go check it out." And you see an owlbear coupling with a whistle on its neck. Nathan, do you know what you Quincy, do you know what the hell you're doing? What do you mean? You're gonna give us an owlbear coupling? Can you tame it? Literally, the next like 4 rounds of combat weren't technically combat. They were just them. Like the owlbear initially tried getting them. Like it was just 1 round of combat with just the bear trying to do something and failing completely. But then They're like, easy, buddy, easy. What was it? The Blood Hunter manages to fully tame it, but since it, what was it? Since the monk managed to befriend it most, they kind of both share custody of the owlbear, but it's particularly attached to the monk, even though the one who fully tamed it and blew the whistle successfully was the blood hunter. I love it. I love my players so much. They get like really quirky and cute. Of course powered down the owlbear until they reach level 5. I figured that was a nice balance. I like balancing my campaign. That's one thing I want to do. I like to balance it. You're level 5 now. When you get to level 6, you're going to get another thing. And then you power up from there. And then I start to unhinge the bolts at like level 15. I'm like, okay, you guys are going to get plus 3 things. You reach level 16, 17, you're getting an artifact. You're getting an artifact. I don't care. Or if I'm feeling really light, if I'm feeling really nasty, here, take this artifact. The hell is this? It's just a floating skull. Yeah. Oh, it knows the future, by the way. Like, my players just go nuts. And I love just making shit up. Or being a bit lenient with them. Because I'm not stroking them. Because me, after like level 6, like, just before they turn level 6, all the gloves come off. In the final round before they get to, you know, level 6, the kid gloves finally come off. After that, oh my god, I was so pleased with the outcome of the fire in Fandolin. So perfect! Oh wait, I just rambled. Back to the topic here. So I wanted something new, but I wanted to get them into Tyranny of Dragons, but I also wanted to throw in my own stuff. The thing about my campaign, in its uniqueness and why my players keep coming back, it's because I'm throwing new stuff at them, and they love it. One of the things I did, one of the things I need to happen was I needed a future enemy to pose a threat to my character's well-being. I accomplished this when they needed a short rest in that dungeon. They had an hour. In that hour, a single solitary kobold left the dungeon. One of them, and I allow one of them to hear it. It's the monk. He leaps into action to check on his trustworthy owlbear companion. They're completely fine, I tell him. He wakes up Oliver, and Oliver is like, "Oh, hi, Dad." And like, effectively, he's being Gohan, like child Gohan. That's my energy for him right now. Yes, they're level 5. He's technically an adult now, but he's going through this teenage stage, kind of, before he turns level 6, where he's fully an adult, technically. He's got this, like, he's got a bit of angst, maybe. I don't know how to do angst. Even though I have a lot of it. It's really weird for me to do it for an animal. Point aside. He's like, oh no, I see a black cloaked figure all the way down there, and it's about 100 feet away. He sees a very tiny cloaked figure miles away, and guess what happens? He does nothing. He doesn't. He's like, he says, okay, so you're coming with me. We're going into the cave. We're going to help the other guys out. He goes in there and tells nobody about the little critter that I set loose. This was a sorcerer kobold. I beefed him up a tiny bit, and this kobold, I kid you not, has like 15 hours. 15, 16-ish hours to get to Phandalin. He gets to Phandalin and I roll a d6. I rolled a, I rolled a 4. 2 more kobolds were added to the mix. Both of them were sorcerers, by the way. Phandalin is, when they return to Phandalin, it is just freshly on fire. And by freshly, I mean it's been about an hour. that it's been set ablaze, or like 30 minutes, something like that. Because the kobolds are still there. And the owlbear had picked up on the blood scent from within the cave, registered it, and found them. And why is this? Where am I going with this? Well, I need someone to die. Not my players, an NPC. So yeah, uh, so yeah, oh, I love my players so much. Dude needs to take notes. But yeah, for me, when you need an event to happen, you sort of don't need to force it. You just need to make it happen as naturally as possible under the right circumstances. So I'm gonna say this: I needed die. PC. Send a kobold. Kobold is unabated. Do note if he did chase with like if he sent Alver uh got the boys left and uh booked it on horseback to get the kobold, it would have gone 120 meters at best. Them arriving would have taken him a couple of minutes, still within range of whatever it was I was doing, and they could have engaged in combat with it, trying to smoke bomb its way out of the scenario, because it was mad, like madness, and it needed to go. So I had that as a plan B, because then it would have left the Fandolin successfully afterwards, and they would have probably just said fuck it and head back inside. If they decided to chase it back to Fanland, then well, I was gonna be. They would have probably found another kobold village, and oh my god, now they're dying by fire kobolds. It's kind of weird now. But I still need this event to happen. So on foot, that kobold traveled. So then, my PCs solve the Lost Minds of Mandela. Let me tell you this. This entire thing hinged on that, kinda. I do have backup plans. I don't walk in with just one plan. I walk in with like four. I have so many different ways of doing things. This is like awesome. My brain works like this when I'm firing on all cylinders. And then we get the Lost Mines, and now, so it's the next day. They go back, so I was so proud of this, and I got it on fire. But now I needed someone to die. This was This is the husband of a female NPC who blames the paladin for failing to. I'm saying Paladin specifically because, to be honest, it could have been any of them, but the Paladin was the one who tried to save him from the burning building. He gets down to like 2 HP trying to save this NPC. The NPC dies on fire, so his whole body gets like cremated essentially, along with debris falling on the unconscious body, dying. And then the wife, or betrothed, or however you want to call it, takes the paladin, and throws him to the ground, dealing 1d6 HP. I rolled a 4 for damage. He is now unconscious. And she storms off on a huff. I'm so proud of myself. I am so proud of myself. This is so glorious. Because I get to be a douche to my NPCs, kinda. Making my heroes kind of feel like blah about the whole thing. They feel like meh. The weird part about this was the monk basically funds bringing back Fandolin, and it's gonna take a while for them to get like up again. Yes, the mines are open now, and they're able to explore it, but like now it's kind of meh. Like, yes, I have all this money, but I have no way to spend it now. I've got meh now. As compensation, they get a shield. It detects something. Detects what? I gave them the listing for it. Don't worry about it. It's like a kite shield. So yeah, that's that. Now, how does this lead into Tyrion Dragons? Well, in Tyrion Dragons, there's an event. A veteran NPC, uh, for whatever reason in the campaign, I don't know how, they just want to kill the party. Character, motive, kill, they level up. And then that's where I kill it. That's where I'm going to kill the campaign before I do other things, because goddamn, I got like another level and a half to go through on that. With that, this is like the premise or a concept that you need to get running. I'll recap it here effectively, where we have an inspiration for something that needs to happen, or your story needs to happen in one way, like two massive deities locked in combat, turning turning from turning with stone in them to stone, with swords in them turning them to stone, and this stems from uh, Fairy Fencer F or Fairy Fencer F Advent Dark Force, Godly Revival area song. And then we have the cringy, unfiltered, trashy transcript that Noir reads to the player in Mega Dimension VR. Because then I told myself, hey, I can imagine that a hero fails to save the princess, and she manages to save herself. And if I'm gonna be so blunt, I believe that. There you go. Instead of that, I have. Why? Hold up. Okay, wow, so for whatever reason, my Steam isn't picking up on my other Word document, so I'm just going to read up my Word document here. where I basically wrote the transcript for the original text that inspired me, and then I have like the first page and a bit, and basically, um, this is so poorly written by my standards. Or it's like he approaches the castle of the Guard of Darkness, Chaos Obsidian. The sky grew dark as thunder and lightning engulfed the surrounding area in crackling lightning and a crackle sound. And he's like, the hero like protests to the villain. Uh, I made this hero like Link. He's saying he's got like a grappling hook. He scales the castle. He unshields Excalibur with like four R's, and it's Buirrrr. And Chaos Obsidian is literally this flamboyant, regal blob of darkness. Uh, he's got like this maniacal laugh. Oof. Hold on. I want to fix this line. A flame is one word. Uh, the Oracle betrays you. That's actually a really strong line, considering that. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yo, DGs. Oh my God, that was a good one. Actually, this is what got me looking into this is what got me looking into the legendary swords. When she dropped Durandal and Dainsleif, I was like, okay, someone's making shit up or I am blind. I know Durandal was a sword. Why is that everyone says Durandal and Dainsleif are like, what do you call it, evil swords? That doesn't just work. Literally, the next line after he unsheaths two blades is the end of the first page, and it goes on. He's like, "I think I'll understand now, hero. I wield both dark blades, Durandal and Dainsleif. The Dark Moon Princess feigns the resurrection of my father. I just made up some BS about his father. It's this giant thing." He was like, "I won't let you. You've slain so many innocent lives since your wake. I won't let you win." The Dark Lord says, "Pitiful," and just blasts the hero off the castle wall and falls into the lake below. And that was it. Like, the hero effectively fails at saving the princess here. Just saying, it's kind of surreal here. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna be editing this part. Oh my God. This is kind of fun to generate a premise idea based on things you hear, things that inspire you. Music, games, mishearing things. This is all where I generate my ideas from. You expand, you expand, you expand. Like, wait. Did I? Uh, huh. it just really helps that I'm on top of things. So I'll just say this for now on this capstone. Thank you so much for watching. Um, Interact with me in the comments. I want to know what you're thinking of this series so far. I'm having a blast with this. This is helping me set in stone things I've already set in stone, but it's because I haven't touched this story in like 2, 3 years. You know, it's barely a page. Um, a page and like a quarter in length that I can find out what cracks were in the first draft and where I was missing things. Also, D&D is really cool, or whatever tabletop RPG you're playing. I just find D&D really simple and easy and malleable to play in. It just makes I just don't like the magic items in there. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Till next time, I'm Quincy Puck. Okay, ciao.